Saatnya raih yang luar biasa. Baru Don Pedro Tango Drink dengan extraordinary black vanilla dan susu sapi segar yang creamy. Nikmati segarnya, nikmati serunya. Don Pedro Tango Drink, black is the new vanilla.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua.
Shalom, Om Swastiastu.
Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan.
Yang terhormat, Pembina UKM Bahasa Asing Safel, Ibu Anita Triastuti, PhD.
Yang kami hormati, Ketua UKM Bahasa Asing Safel 2020, Dewi Indrianti.
Yang kami hormati, Ketua Panitia Festival Budaya Internasional 2020, Yela Putu Puspita Dewi, beserta penonton yang berbahagia.
Selamat datang di acara
Festival Budaya Internasional 2020 Agartha, 5 Million Secrets in Wonderful World. Puji syukur kita panjatkan kehadirat Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, karena berkat rahmat dan limpahan karunia-Nya kita dapat mengikuti acara pada hari ini tanpa kurang satu apapun.
Perkenalkan, saya Deva dan rekan saya Riki sebagai MC yang akan memandu jalannya acara pada hari ini.
Memasuki acara yang pertama, yaitu sambutan-sambutan. Sambutan yang pertama akan disampaikan oleh Ketua Panitia Festival Budaya Internasional 2020 kepada Yela Putu Puspita Dewi. Disilakan.
Good afternoon everyone. Selamat siang. Konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, ni hao, bonjour. Guten Tag euch allen und herzlich willkommen bei uns im Festival Budaya International 2020. The Honorable Ms. Anita Triastuti, PhD, as the advisor of UKM Bahasa Asing Student Activity Forum of Foreign Languages or SAFA UNY, the Honorable Dewi Indrianti as the President of SAFA 2020, the Honorable native speakers and performers, also my beloved audience and committees. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Yela Putu Puspita Dewi or Dewi, as the staff of Cross-Cultural Understanding and Learning Media or CCULM Department, as well as the head of this year's Festival Budaya International or FESBUD. Let us thanks to God Almighty who has bestowed His grace and guidance so that this event still can be held online. FESBUD is an annual event organized by CCULM Department under SAFEL UNY. This event aims to introduce foreign cultures to public, especially UNY students, with festival as media. In short, this event is a fun way to learn about foreign cultures. Here we can also introduce our culture to foreigners. FESBUD itself is usually held offline in Auditorium UNY with several series of events such as talk shows with foreigners, performances representing of several countries, stands by foreign countries, costume stands, game stands, and photo booths. There, visitors can interact directly with foreigners, taste specialties from several countries made by their natives, take photos together, make new friends, wear traditional costumes from several countries, and most importantly, to learn about the foreign cultures together. Unfortunately, this year, FESBUD couldn't be held as usual because of the impossible circumstances. With the theme Agartha, 5 Million Secrets in a Wonderful World, we would like to take all of you to a hidden paradise that holds many wonders. Your audience can listen to several stories from representatives from Ecuador, Philippines, Japan, and of course Indonesia. Also, special performances and Q&A session that has been provided. We also want to thank to sponsors and media partners who have supported this event, as well as the amazing committees who have worked hard so that this event can be held successfully. Hopefully, FESBUD can accommodate all of you to learn about foreign culture, because by understanding different cultures, we can increase our knowledge, experience, self-capacity in global level, understand better of our own culture, and of course to increase sense of tolerance towards various cultures around the world. We apologize for any mistakes and inconvenience during this event. Thank you for your participation, attention, and appreciation. Happy watching and happy learning at FESBUD 2020. See you at FESBUD 2021.
Terima kasih atas sambutannya.
Sambutan kedua akan disampaikan oleh Ketua UKM Bahasa Asing Safel 2020 kepada Dewi Indrianti. Disilakan.
Hello, Konnichiwa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Vice Rector of Students Affairs and Alumnus, Professor Dr. Ani Kufer MPD. The Honorable Mrs. Anita Triastuti as the Advisor of Student Activity Forum of Foreign Languages and the Head of Festival Budaya Internasional, Yala Putu Puspita Dewi. After waiting for a long time, finally we can meet in Festival Budaya Internasional 2020. This program is an annual program that held by Cross-Cultural Understanding and Learning Media Department, and this agenda actually was scheduled on 19th of March 2020, but due to COVID outbreak, we try to back with new concept. Festival Budaya Internasional has proposed to introduce culture for everyone. So this year we have guests from Bali, Ecuador, Philippines, and Japan. And also we provide you a sharing culture session and some culture performances. Special thanks for the committee and many obstacles to help fast food. But now you already success the struggle. Congratulations! And for everyone, hope you enjoy this agenda. Thank you.
Terima kasih atas sambutannya.
Dengan demikian, Festival Budaya Internasional 2020 resmi dibuka.
Nah, untuk tema Festival Budaya tahun ini kan Agartha ya, Dev. Tapi itu kayaknya masih terasa asing nih di telinga aku dan telinga teman-teman. Emang makna dari Agartha itu seperti apa sih, Dev?
Jadi, Agartha itu sendiri merupakan suatu tempat istimewa yang tersembunyi dan di dalamnya memiliki banyak rahasia yang bisa kita explore. Kayak tagline kita tadi kan, 5 million secrets in wonderful world gitu. Nah, di sini Festival Budaya itu kita ibaratkan sebagai Agartha yang nantinya memiliki banyak penampilan-penampilan yang menarik dan bisa kita explore lebih dalam lagi.
Nah, seperti itu ya teman-teman. Jadi di acara Festival Budaya kali ini, teman-teman bisa menemukan hal-hal menarik dan hal-hal yang misterius, tentunya juga pasti istimewa, yang mungkin nggak bisa teman-teman dapatin di acara yang lainnya.
Iya, tentunya. Dan di sini, di kesempatan kali ini kita akan mengeksplor nih, kita akan mengajak teman-teman untuk menjelajah di 3 negara.
Wah, ada 3 negara nih ya, Dev.
Ada 3
Ada
negara.
apa aja sih negaranya?
Jadi ada Filipina,
Terus apa lagi? Jepang,
dan Ecuador.
dan yang terakhir ini yang spesial nih. Jadi kita nggak sebutin dulu ya. Tadi kan bilang 3 ya, tapi ada satu yang spesial, yaitu negara kita tercinta, yaitu Indonesia pastinya.
Tentunya, kita nggak boleh meninggalkan
Iya,
Indonesia.
betul.
Tanpa berlama-lama, kita langsung saja nih ajak teman-teman buat menyaksikan penampilan dari apa, Ki?
Nah, untuk penampilan yang pertama bakal ada penampilan dan presentasi dari negara Filipina. Langsung saja kita saksikan bersama penampilan dan presentasi dari negara Filipina.
Hi guys, my name is Laika and I am from the Philippines, and today I would like to share with you one of the mythology that the Philippines have, which is called Sari Manok. Sari Manok is a legendary bird or chicken of the Marino people who originate from Mindanao, which is the southern or the major island in the southern part of the Philippines. So sari manok comes from the word sari and manok. Sari means cloth or garment with assorted colors, and manok is the Filipino term for chicken. And sari manok derived from the Tottenberg of the Marano people, which is called Itutoro. Itutoro symbolizes good fortune. So there are actually lots of versions or stories about the sari manok as ever told, but the one legend tells that the name of the daughter of Sultan of Lanao is called Sari. So Sari was loved by her father and the people in the village because of her beauty and kindness. On her 18th birthday, Sari celebrated a feast or set a feast to celebrate the occasion, and then suddenly a bird with bright glowing feathers appeared into the middle of feast and surprised everyone. So to their amazement, the chicken turns into a handsome prince. And the handsome prince then stated that he has been watching over and protecting Sari since she was born, and it was the time that he will take her with him. So with this, he transformed back into a chicken and flew away. Took Sari and flew away to the sun. So both he and the princess were never seen again. So due to the loss of her daughter, the Sultan was struck with grief, and he had the best craftsman in his village to carve an image of the magical chicken that took her daughter. So sari manok, since then, sari manok has been the symbol of the Maranao art, and not just for the Maranao people but also for the Philippines. And there's actually a festival that was held in the 1st of July in Lanao to celebrate peace and unity for the two dominant cultures here in the Philippines, which is the Christians and Muslim. And the festival is about celebrating in terms of parading the town or a street dancing competition dressed or costumed with the sari manok inspired dresses or something like that. So most of the dresses of the competitors are actually inspired by the sari manok. So it's like honoring the legend or something that, so to celebrate peace and unity is what they said. And they said that there is no also exact design of what sari manok looks like, but in the prestigious competition, since it's been an art not just in the Maranao people but also in the Philippines, in the prestigious competitions like the Miss World, Miss Universe, Miss International, something like that, the designers were given the freedom to create designs inspired by the sari manok, to create wardrobes or gowns that the representatives wore in those competitions. And it's actually not just like wearing the gowns inspired by the sari manok, but also those candidates who wore those inspired gowns by the sari manok actually represents and honored the culture of Maranao or the culture of Mindanao. So we have a lot of mythology here in the Philippines, but for me, sari manok is one of the most interesting for me, and I like it, and it's worth sharing with everyone who actually who wanted to know some myth that the Philippines have. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something from the Philippines. Thank you.
Penampilan dan presentasi yang sangat menarik dari Filipina.
Selanjutnya akan ada guest star, yaitu Shuffle Dance Club. Nah, Shuffle Dance Club ini apa sih, Ki?
Nah, Shuffle Dance Club merupakan salah satu sub-departemen yang ada pada UKM Bahasa Asing Shuffle.
Shuffle Dance Club memiliki 3 genre, yaitu Western, K-pop, and J-pop. Nah, yang akan kita saksikan ini apa sih, Ki?
Nah, yang kita akan saksikan ini adalah salah satu genrenya, yaitu genre Western.
Oke, tanpa berlama-lama lagi, mari kita saksikan penampilan dari
Shuffle Dance Club.
Do you love me? Do you need me? Do you want me? Do you love me? Love me, love me, love me.
Like a river, 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 like a river. Shut your mouth and run me like a river. How do we fall in love? Harder than a bullet could hit ya. How do we fall apart? Faster than a hairpin trigger. Don't you say it, don't you say it. Don't say, don't you say it. One breath, it'll just break it. So shut your mouth and run me like a river. Shut your mouth, baby, stand and deliver. Holy hands, pull and make me a sinner. Like a river, like a river. Shut your mouth and run me like a river. Choke this love till the veins start to shiver. One last breath till the tears start to wither. Like a river, like a river. Shut your mouth and run me like a river. You don't own me. You don't own me. You don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I never stay. Don't tell me what to do, and don't tell me what to say. Please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. You don't own me.
Forgive me for my wrongs, I have just begun. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking. Rose.
Ya, penampilan yang sangat menarik sekali dari kakak-kakak cantik dari SDC tadi ya,
Dan
Tia.
penampilan yang sangat energik juga
Iya,
ya.
membakar semangat kita itu kan. Oke, selanjutnya ada penampilan dari mana lagi?
Nah, untuk penampilan selanjutnya bakal ada penampilan dan presentasi dari negara kita tercinta yaitu Indonesia.
Ya, dan pada kali ini Festival Budaya akan menampilkan kebudayaan dari Bali.
Luar biasa ya, tentunya pasti teman-teman gak sabar lagi ya. Langsung saja kita saksikan penampilan dan presentasi dari negara Indonesia.
Om Swastiastu. Hello everyone, my name is Ikada Yasa Hendra Saputra. I'm from Bulalang Regency, Bali Province. Student of Yogyakarta State University with major Public Administration 2020. I representative from Indonesia. In this occasion, I would like to talk about the Tirta Empul Holy Water Temple. The Tirta Empul Holy Water Temple is located in the village of Manukaya, near the town of Tanpak Siri, not far from Ubud, in the Gianyar Regency, the cultural heart of Bali. The temple is situated just below the presidential village of Tanpak Siri, built in 1957 by Indonesian First President Sukarno. The beautifully built village itself is an important landmark of the island and the country. Together with the presidential village, the Tirta Empul Holy Water Temple provides some of the most fascinating views you will ever see. The Balinese believe that the creation of Tirta Empul involves the legend of an epic battle between a powerful and magical king named Maya Denawa and the god Indra. Maya Denawa possessed the spiritual power to transform himself into any form he desired. But he became careless with his power and used them for blood magic. A priest named Sampul Putih prayed to the god Indra to put an end to the evil king. Indra and his soldier managed to defeat Maya Denawa first and left the wicked king and what's left of his troops running for their life. Later, Maya Denawa snuck into Indra's camp. When the army slept, he created a beautiful but poisonous bomb that the army will drink from upon waking up. When Maya Denawa crept into the camp, he walked on the sides of his feet so as not to leave footprint. This is believed to be the origin of the name Tanpak Siri, which translates as tilted footprint. In the morning, Indra awoke to find many of these men dead and scores more sick and dying. It was then, through his mighty power, that the god Indra reached the ground with his staff, creating the sacred healing spring of holy water which came to be known as Tirta Empul. Knowing that this plan had failed, Mayadanawa frantically tried to transform himself into all sorts of different ways, but to no effect, since Indra continued to chase him. When at last he transformed himself into a boulder, Indra shoot an arrow through it, pitched it, and eventually killed the evil king. The blood of Mayadanawa that gushed from the boulder is believed to have from the Patanu River, and for over 1,000 years, the river was cursed, making rice grow rapidly, but having an outbreak and tainted with blood. The Hindu Balinese commemorate the death of Mayadanawa every 210 days in the Balinese traditional calendar, as the day when Fitu triumphs over evil in the ritual and ceremony called Galungan. Just all for me, and I said sorry if I have a mistake. And I close with Param Santi. Om Santi 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 Om.
Penampilan dan presentasi yang sangat luar biasa dari negara Indonesia, dan tentunya membuat kita menjadi semakin bangga ya Dev, sebagai warga Indonesia.
Oke, selanjutnya ada penampilan dari gestar kita lagi nih, yaitu Safelite.
Wah, Safelite ini merupakan salah satu komunitas yang ada di UKM Bahasa Asing Safel.
Ya, komunitas musik ya,
Iya,
ya.
tepatnya komunitas musik kan.
Ya. Nah, Safelite ini mengcover 3 genre musik, yaitu Western, K-pop, dan J-pop. Itu genre utamanya ya, yang nggak jauh beda sama SNC tadi.
Nah, mungkin ini teman-teman udah gak sabar nih pengen ngedengerin bagusnya suara-suara Safelite nih. Langsung aja ya, tanpa berlama-lama lagi, langsung aja kita sambut penampilan dari Safelite.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, know when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under. On a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. I want just place for you and me.
All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all that time never even knowing just how blind I've been. Now I'm here blinking in the starlight. Now I'm here, suddenly I see. Standing here, it's all so clear. I'm where I'm meant to be. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light, and it's like the sky is new, and it's warm and real bright, and the world somehow shifted. All at once, everything looks different now that I see you.
All those days chasing down a daydream, all those years living in the gloom, all that time never truly seeing things the way they were. Now she's here, shining in the starlight. Now she's here, suddenly I know. If she's here, it's crystal clear. I'm where I'm meant to go. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light,
And it's like the sky is blue, and it's warm and bright, and the world somehow shifted. All at once, everything is different now that I see you. Now that I see you.
Kali ini kita bakal bacain Q&A yang telah kita rangkum dari akun Instagram Festival Budaya.
Ya Dev, tapi bentar deh. Kan acaranya udah jalan setengah nih, dan aku kayak ngerasa seret gitu.
Seret. Tenang aja, kan ada Tango Drink.
Tango Drink? Bukannya Tango itu wafer ya Dev?
Enggak dong, sekarang Tango juga ada varian minumannya dengan varian rasa Italian coklat. Tango Drink juga mengandung kalsium, vitamin A, vitamin D, dan masih banyak vitamin lainnya.
Wah keren ya, kayaknya aku jadi pengen nih Dev. Gimana lu?
Ini ada.
Ini buat aku nih, gak apa-apa.
Iya,
Wah,
minum aja.
Beneran nih minum nih?
Iya.
Wah makasih banyak ya Dev. Buka ya.
Ya, tuh enak banget ya kayaknya.
Wah, gampang lagi bukanya nih.
Iya, aku juga ada loh nih.
Wah, diminum ya nih ya.
Minum dong, biar nggak seret lagi kan, biar bisa lanjutin acara.
Iya.
Wow,
Tanpa kita kan acara nggak jalan deh.
Iyalah.
Coba ya. Bener loh, enak dong.
Iya dong, pastinya.
Wah, jadi buat teman-teman ini yang lagi haus atau pengen minum yang seger-seger, cocok banget nih buat minum Tango Drinks. Ya, jangan lupa ya dibeli teman-teman di minimarket terdekat.
Tak lupa kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada Tango Drink selaku pihak sponsor yang telah mendukung berlangsungnya acara hari ini.
Dan juga kami mengucapkan terima kasih banyak kepada media partner yang telah ikut berpartisipasi untuk menyukseskan acara hari ini. Yang pertama ada event mahasiswa 3,
Jogja punya acara,
UNY Community,
dan acara kampus.id. Oke, karena kamu udah nggak seret lagi nih, kita lanjut ke sesi Q&A ya.
Ya, karena aku udah nggak seret lagi, dan makasih juga ya buat Tango. Gara-gara Tango aku udah nggak seret lagi.
Iya, lanjut ya.
Kita lanjut ke sesi question and answer. Nah, karena kemarin kita udah ngerangkum nih pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang diajuin di Instagramnya Festival Budaya Safel. Nah, ini ada pertanyaan yang masuk nih. Apa sih yang membuat festival budaya pada tahun ini berbeda dengan festival budaya pada tahun kemarin-kemarin?
Ya, jadi festival budaya tahun ini diadakan secara online dengan tetap mendatangkan foreigner, dengan tetap menampilkan foreigner dari negara lain, dan tentunya banyak penampilan yang keren dan menarik dari mahasiswa UNY maupun dari luar UNY.
Ya, benar banget Dev, kan tadi juga kita udah menyaksikan nih beberapa penampilan dari Filipina, Indonesia, dan juga beberapa penampilan dari Gestar kan. Nah, tentunya aku yakin nih teman-teman gak bakal rugi deh kalau ikutin acara ini dari awal sampai akhir.
Tentunya
gitu.
dong. Nah, yang kedua nih, apakah nanti acara festival budaya ini bakal ada replay videonya gitu?
Oh, tentu aja dong. Jadi ini nanti ketika acara selesai, jadi bakal otomatis terupload di akunnya YouTube Safel.
Dan sekedar informasi buat teman-teman yang sedang menyaksikan ini, kalian tentunya bisa berinteraksi langsung dengan penonton lain. Mungkin mau diskusi tentang penampilannya tadi melalui live chat, atau mau menanyakan mengenai apa yang sudah dipresentasikan dari perwakilan negara yang sudah tampil tadi.
Nah, benar banget nih. Nanti teman-teman nih kalau mau nyari teman juga boleh banget tuh di situ. Kali aja nanti bisa ketemu teman yang sehobi gitu kan. Nah, kan itu bakal bermanfaat banget bagi kedepannya gitu.
Tadi kan udah ada penampilan dari Filipina,
Indonesia.
Nah, selanjutnya akan ada apa nih?
Nah, untuk penampilan selanjutnya bakal ada penampilan dari salah satu negara yang letaknya itu di benua Amerika. Kira-kira apa tuh?
Ekuador kan ya?
Benar banget. Nah, untuk penampilan selanjutnya bakal ada penampilan dari Ekuador. Langsung aja kita saksikan bersama penampilan dari Ekuador.
Hello, I'm Ismail from Ecuador and I'm going to tell a great myth about my country. It's called Cantuña, so hope you enjoy. There is a myth that in the old colonial city of Quito, which is the current capital of Ecuador, lived an Indian called Cantuña, a man skilled in the art of metalworking, woodworking, and especially in the construction. He was hired by the Franciscan monks to build a church in the convent of San Francisco de Quito. The pay was very good, but the time to finish the construction was really short. So the Indian began the construction of the church. The day passed and the construction was still unfinished. So Cantuña slowly began to be desperate. The time came when there was only one day left to deliver the work, and the church was still not finished, so he was unable to meet the commitment he had made. Cantuña fell into desperation and inflation took hold of him. those precious moments, he appeared before the scared indigenous Lucifer, the master of the hell. The fear and desperation took possession of Cantunia when seeing the image of so fearful being, which with deep and loud voice said, "Cantunia, I'm here to help you. I know you're troubled. I will help you to build the incomplete church before the new day appears. In return, you will pay me with your soul." Faced with such a proposal and product of desperation and fear, Cantunia accepted the deal, but only asked for one condition, that all the stones must be placed. The devil accepted. It seems to him an absurd and simple condition to accomplish. Immediately, little devils under the order of Lucifer began to build a church of San Francisco, and in a few hours they were building the monumental architectonic work. Indeed, as the hour passed, the great church was complete. As offered by Lucifer, the work was finished before the midnight. It was then the right moment to charge the high price of construction, the soul of Cantunia. However, the devil, at the moment of taking the soul of the Indian, this one stopped with a shy attitude. "One moment," said Cantunia. "The deal has been broken. You offered to place every last stone of the construction, and it was not so. One stone is missing. The deal has been broken." At the moment, Cantunia took out under his clothes a rock that he had hidden very quietly before the demon began their work. Lucifer, speechless, saw in moments how a simple mortal had fooled him in the simplest way. Cantunia set his soul in this way, and the devil, feeling himself deceived, took refuge in hell without his faith. Today, it is a church that receives many tourists from all over the world because of its culinary structure and its history.
Penampilan dan presentasi yang sangat informatif dari negara Ekuador.
Ya, mungkin banyak teman-teman yang belum tahu mengenai budaya di Ekuador itu sendiri. Oke, selanjutnya akan ada penampilan dari gestar kita nih Ki, yaitu Bu Cecum.
Nah, untuk teman-teman yang udah sering ikuti kegiatan festival budaya dari tahun-tahun sebelumnya, pasti udah nggak asing lagi nih sama yang namanya Bu Cecum.
Tapi untuk teman-teman yang belum tahu, Bu Cecum itu sendiri merupakan grup yang terdiri dari mahasiswa jurusan Bahasa Korea FIB UGM. Nah, mereka akan menampilkan tari tradisional yang akan menceritakan mengenai permaisuri atau ratu di kerajaan Korea Selatan.
Wah, tentunya bakal menjadi sangat menarik ya teman-teman. Langsung saja ya, daripada berlama-lama lagi, mari kita saksikan penampilan dari Bu Cecum.
Keren banget ya penampilannya tadi, debak gitu kan.
Cinca
ya.
debak
Cinca
pokoknya.
debak, oke. Nah tadi kan kita udah menyaksikan dari Filipina, Indonesia, Ekuador, dan satu lagi apa nih?
Yang terakhir kita bakal menyaksikan penampilan dari negara Jepang.
Ya, langsung saja mari kita saksikan penampilan dari negara Jepang.
Stay with me. 真夜中のドアを叩き帰らないでと泣いたあの季節が今目の前 Stay with me 口癖を言いながら二人の時を抱いてまだ忘れず温めてた Stay with me 真夜中のドアを叩き帰らないでと泣いたあの季節が今目の前 Stay with me 口癖を言いながら
Halo teman-teman, nama saya Risa dari Jepang. Saya mahasiswa S2 jurusan Pendidikan Seni Tari di UNY. Pada kesempatan ini, saya akan bercerita tentang Amaterasu Omikami dari mitologi Jepang. Amaterasu Omikami adalah Dewi Matahari yang memimpin surga Takamagahara bersama adik dan suaminya. Amaterasu Omikami dianggap sebagai dewi terpenting dalam agama Shinto dan bersemayam di beberapa kuil di Jepang. Kuil besar Ise merupakan kuil yang paling terkenal di antaranya. Di kuil Ise, setiap 20 tahun akan ada upacara pemujaan bernama Shikine Sengu, di mana pakaian dan makanan baru akan disajikan untuk sang dewi. Upacara ini sudah dilakukan sejak tahun 690 Masehi. Amaterasu Omikami juga dianggap sebagai leluhur ilahi dan dari keluarga kekaisaran Jepang. Menurut buku sejarah tertua di Jepang, yaitu Kojiki, Amaterasu Omikami merupakan anak dari Dewa Izanagi dan Dewi Izanami, yang dikenal sebagai pencipta Pulau Jepang. Dalam catatan Kojiki, diceritakan persaingan antara Amaterasu dan adiknya Susanoo. Saat Izanagi memerintahkan Susanoo untuk keluar dari surga Takamagahara menuju bumi, Susanoo berniat mengucapkan selamat tinggal pada Amaterasu. Mengenal sifat Susanoo yang penipu dan kejam, Amaterasu curiga. Namun, dia setuju dengan tantangan adiknya untuk membuktikan kejujurannya. Kedua dewa bertukar barang dan melahirkan dewa-dewi darinya. Amaterasu melahirkan 3 dewi dari pedang Susanoo, sementara Susanoo melahirkan 5 dewa dari karung Amaterasu. Amaterasu mengklaim 5 dewa adalah miliknya, sementara 3 dewi adalah milik Susanoo. Amaterasu memutuskan dia yang menang karena pedang Susanoo melahirkan wanita. Susanoo dalam kegelisahannya menggamuk dan menghancurkan sawah Amaterasu. Murka, Amaterasu bersembunyi dalam sebuah gua bernama Amano Iwato dan menyembunyikan matahari selama waktu yang lama. Rujukan dewa-dewi untuk keluar tidak dihiraukan Amaterasu sampai para dewa bersiasat. Cermin Yata no Kagami akan digantung pada pohon di luar gua. Sementara Amano Uzume, dewi yang pandai menari, akan melakukan tarian tanpa busana di dekatnya. Mendengar gerak tawa para dewa yang melihat Amano Uzume menarik perhatian Amaterasu, sehingga dia akhirnya keluar dari gua. Saat itu, dia melihat bayangan dirinya dalam cermin Yata no Kagami. Dalam keterkejutan, Amaterasu, Dewa Ame no Tajikara wo langsung menutup gua Amano Iwa, sehingga Amaterasu tidak dapat masuk lagi. Berlalunya Amaterasu membuat matahari kembali menyinari jagat raya. Demikianlah yang dapat saya sampaikan tentang cerita Amaterasu Omikami dari mitologi Jepang. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. ありがとうございました。
Ya, itu tadi informasi yang sangat menarik dan mencerahkan ya dari negara Jepang.
Nah, untuk selanjutnya bakal ada penampilan dari salah satu gestar yang masih berbau Jepangan, yaitu Hikari.
Ya, Hikari ini merupakan himpunan mahasiswa sastra Jepang suka menari. Dan mereka akan membawakan tari tradisional Jepang, gak jauh berbeda nih dengan Bucecem tadi.
Nah, langsung saja kita saksikan bersama penampilan dari Hikari.
Tadi kalau Bucecem kan debak nih, kalau Hikari?
Nah, kalau untuk Hikari ini penampilannya tuh sangat sugoi dan kaku.
Oke. Nah, tak terasa kita sudah sampai di penghujung acara nih, Ki.
Nah, dari awal tadi kita telah menyaksikan berbagai penampilan menarik dari berbagai negara dan juga beberapa gestar.
Ya. Nah, masih ada satu lagi penampilan dari guest star kita, yaitu SDC, namun dengan genre yang berbeda. Namun sebelum itu, kami selaku Master of Ceremony ingin pamit undur diri.
Saya Ricky.
Dan saya Deva.
Sampai jumpa di acara Festival Budaya Internasional 2021.
미쳐버릴 것 같아 대체 뭐야 반해버린 것 같아 하루 종일 머릿속에 맴맴 돌아버려 무릎 펴가 매매어 가시도 친구라면서도 갖고 싶어 bad boys
가시 줄긴 아름다운 장미가 피는 법 진한 빨간 꽃말은 널 사랑한다는 걸 온몸에 피가 나도 널 안고 싶어 Cause I think about you every day 이미 중독인 걸 말해 뭐해
네가 날 만지면 온몸이 반응해 네가 있어야 살 수 있어 Every day, every night I can feel you 너무 아름다워 너를 뺄 수가 없어 Oh no 빛이 핀 가시같이 찔릴 것 같아 널 갖고 싶어 So beautiful So beautiful
너무 예뻐 슬프도록 아름다워 You're beautiful to handle Two finger thumbs up 감탄사를 던져 맨정신을 벗겨 미쳐 돌아버릴 것 같아 네 향기 맡으면
퍼져 또 커져 중독돼버렸어 찔려버렸어 hard 사랑과 아픔 그 단어 사이 조심해
하지마 난 몰래 눈짓하는 거 하지마 날 보며 살짝 웃는 거
내 머리 말해 너보 가슴이 말해 oh yes 미칠 것 같으니까 I don't know 싹 다
네가 날 만지면 온몸이 반응해 네가 있어야 살 수 있어 Every day, every night I can feel you 너무 아름다워 너를 뺄 수가 없어 Oh no 빛이 핀 가시같이 찔릴 것 같아 날 갖고 싶어 So beautiful So beautiful
너무 예뻐 슬프도록 아름다워 Too beautiful to handle
나도 알아 절대 가질 수 없는 걸 바라보기만 할 때 더 아름답단 걸널 지켜줄게 더 예쁘게 피어줘 다쳐도 좋아 난 괜찮아 Cause you're my one and only beauty 아름다워 너를 뗄 수가 없어 Oh no 빛이 가시같이 찔릴 것 같아 널 갖고 싶어 So beautiful So beautiful
너무 예뻐 슬프도록 아름다워 Too beautiful to handle
Said she tired, little money, need a big boy. Pull up 20-inch blades like I'm Lil Troy. Now it's everybody flocking, need a decoy. Shorty mixing up the vodka with the liquor. G-Wagon, 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 G-Wagon. All the housewives pulling up. I got a lot of toys. 720S bumping Fall Out Boy. You was talking shit in the beginning. Back when I was feeling unforgiving. I know I pissed you off to see me winning. See the igloo in my mouth and I be grinning. Bills in my pocket, it's on me. Only think when I roll it on me. Get more bottles, these bottles are lonely. It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying why. Only bills in my pocket, it's on me. Only think when I roll it on me. Get more bottles,
broke, I don't say why.
Rose blood, bring the money to the bank like.
Eggs. Look, turn me up, break the knob right. I get dressed like it's prom night. I feed them lemons in the limelight. They say I'm full, lost my appetite. Keep on pushing like a dealer. Keep on shooting Reggie Miller. Gon' give them all the finger. You gotta say the soul right, call it Hans Zimmer.
I want two part of the tea. You want two part of the tea. We need two part of the tea. Let's have a part of the tea. Let me get up.
Saturday morning, I ain't gotta work. Last night's show sold a lot of merch. Bad bitch in my bed, so I ain't got a jerk. Forbes list caught me, so it's hard to make the dollar hurt. All we need is good green and some Bulu. 5 to 1, so it's guaranteed you can do you. Still keep the heater just in case we have a boo-boo. Kansas City natives and we are a little cuckoo.
This the type of shit to make the hood go crazy. On the interstate doing 180. She said, do it for me, baby. Took a double shot and then we all went crazy.
White girls go crazy. Black girls go crazy. College girls go crazy. This the type of shit to make the hood go crazy.
Baru Veluto Tango Drink. Kini dengan susu sapi segar yang creamy. Bikin happy dan healthy. Teguk segarnya, teguk sehatnya, teguk susunya. Veluto Tango Drink. Teguk coklatnya.